September 26th. I've been looking forward to this one. National Dumpling Day. Now, they didn't specify what kind of dumplings, so they're leaving that up to us, I'm assuming. As long as it's a dumpling, I guess it counts. There's the kind that you make in like chicken and dumplings, which are those big doughy dumplings that you find in soups and stews and all that kind of stuff that you can do. Or there's this kind of dumplings, which are the Asian pot sticker kind of dumplings. That's what we're making today. I'm kind of excited about this. I've never done anything like this, but I'll tell you what, it's one of my favorite things to get in Chinese takeout is dumplings. Whether they're pan fried, whether they're steamed, doesn't matter. Now, granted, we're not making our dough from scratch, which you could do. You know, the real doughy, when you get them from most Chinese places, it's a real doughy dough that's around your dumpling filling. We're using wonton wrappers today because I saw a bunch of videos on how to do it. They usually come in a square. It's very hard to find them in a round package. I'm sure they sell them. I couldn't find them. So what I did was just buy the square wontons, and then if you take a 3-inch biscuit cutter or ring, you're able to cut them into these circles, which is what you want, because that's going to make our dumplings, okay? So I'm looking forward to this one today. The other thing is, I've never cooked dumplings, but I've never made like a filling with pork and shrimp together and then steam it. And then, I don't know, I just always thought, you know, like I said before, I'm one of those people that gets real nervous about like undercooked meats and stuff. So I'm anxious to see how this one's going to go. The other fun thing about today is that I'm using a bamboo steamer. Now, we've had this thing in this house for well over a year. Somebody said, hey, we should get one of these and eat healthier. I think we've used it once. So, if this works the way I'm hoping it's going to work, I'm going to be getting a lot more use out of that bamboo steamer, because I'm going to be making these things all the time. The other cool thing is you can freeze these after you make them. You don't have to cook them all right away. Make a whole bunch of them and then lay them on a tray in the freezer until they harden up, put them in a bag. Now you got, you know, pot sticker dumplings whenever you want them. All right, I'm babbling. I gotta get started on this. Okay, for our Chinese dumplings today, we need 2 cups of cabbage finely chopped, a teaspoon of salt, a ½ pound of shrimp that's peeled, deveined, and finely chopped, a pound of lean pork ground, 2 tablespoons of light soy sauce, 2 tablespoons of rice wine, a tablespoon of green onion chopped, a tablespoon of sesame oil, 2 teaspoons of fresh ginger chopped, 2 garlic cloves minced, wonton wrappers, and a tablespoon of oyster sauce. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is take our cabbage. As you can see, we shredded it on like a cheese grater, because you got to chop it up really fine anyway. So we made it in small pieces. This is going to go into our mix, so it doesn't matter that you know, you can chop it thin and then chop it if you want, or however you want to do it. We did it like this. You're going to sprinkle your salt on here, and then you're going to put this off to the side. Just kind of give it a quick mix, and then you're going to leave this off to the side for about 5 minutes or so. What that's going to do is the salt is going to start pulling the moisture out of this cabbage. Okay, so while the cabbage is doing that, we'll put the rest of our filling together. What I did was, I took about a ½ pound of shrimp, clean, deveined, raw shrimp, okay, and I just chopped it up as, you know, best as I could. Really try to give it a nice dice there. But now what I want to do is I'm going to put this into a bowl with some paper towel, because I just want to try to wring as much of the moisture out of this as well. The whole idea with this filling thing is you got to make sure it's kind of as dry as you can make. You don't want a wet, runny filling. You want something that's going to be a little firm, so that way when you scoop it and put it in your dumpling, it doesn't all kind of run out when you're steaming it or pan frying it or whatever we're doing, which we're doing both, by the way. We're going to steam them first, then we're going to pan fry them. I don't know why, we just feel like doing that. Okay, so in our big bowl here, I'm going to put my pork. Okay, my pound of pork. And now I'm going to just kind of take all the shrimp out of here. Okay, and just put that right in. Okay, so that just took whatever little moisture was in there. I mean, there wasn't a real lot anyway. but at least it'll take some of it out of there, okay? So I put that in there. Now I'm going to just mix those two things together a bit, just so there's a nice blend of that. And now we're going to start adding all of our spices to this mix here, okay? So we're going to add, I gotta see if I remember, I told you what everything was, but what? Ah, soy sauce. That's our soy sauce. Okay, our rice wine, or mirin we're using. Same thing, right? Sesame oil. We should get all of that up, because that's some good flavor there. Our oyster sauce. Our garlic. Ginger. And our scallion or green onion, okay, which we got right from the garden and chopped that up, okay? It's almost time to get rid of my garden outside for the season, so I want to try to use up as much stuff as I can. You're just going to really mix this all together until it's all well incorporated, okay? And there you go. We took our cabbage and I strained it just to make sure that we got as much of the moisture out as we did. Mix that in as well, and there you go. There's our filling for our dumplings, okay? It smells great already. I can't wait to try these today. So I have my little rounds here. I keep them covered just to make sure that they don't get all dried out as I'm working, okay? Don't just leave all your little circles out. I'm going to use my melon baller because I think that's going to be the right amount to put inside my dumpling here. You don't want to overfill these because then you won't be able to close them up right. You won't get the right kind of seal. So I think that melon baller is a nice, perfect amount, okay? I know it doesn't look like a lot. It doesn't have to be a lot because you're going to make a lot of these, so don't worry. You'll have plenty to eat. All right, so there's your little circle with our filling. Take a little dish of water. I'm going to try to do this for you. I've only watched people do it, but I haven't done it. Just wet the edge of half of it. Go around and make like a half circle, wet the half circle there, okay? And then put it together. Now, you're going to pinch one end to close it, okay? And then as you go along closing it, you're just going to kind of make these little pleats as you do that, okay? Make sure your filling stays in there. This is why you can't overfill your dumplings, because then you won't be able to do this nice little pleat technique. Come on, get in there. It's just hard because dumpling wants to spill out all its filling. So if you see it starting to squeeze out, just take some of it out. Now, this is a science you have to get used to, okay? And I'm just going to squeeze this and take any excess that comes off. And there you go. See how it's pleated? Now, it's a little hard to do with this little tiny dumpling. Granted, if we had bigger wrappers, bigger dumpling wrappers, we'd be able to do it. I could use egg roll wrappers, which is the same dough and on a bigger scale, but I don't know. I kind of like the idea of the smaller bite-sized ones. I just think that's better. And it's nice and full. See, I don't know if you can see it with the light. If you get the light behind it, you can see that it's really full with the filling. So it's not going to be like all this dough and like this little thing of filling. But anyway, we're going to make a whole mess of these. That's how you do it. Okay, so we were motoring right along, making our little dumplings there. And then I'm like, this is going to take forever because there's so much mix, and you get these, you know, they're so small. So, I mean, you can make a gazillion of them, but you know what? You need a room full of people, and you have some wine, and you all kind of do that together. So, thankfully, I also bought a package of egg roll wrappers, which it's the same dough, it's just a bigger sheet. So I went to a bigger cutter, and I made a bigger dumpling. So that's what I'm going to do with the rest of these. Now it'll be kind of easier to show you too. See, you can put more filling because it's a bigger circle. Okay, do the same thing, just wet the outside lip of half of it. Okay, give you an idea here, see? Fold it in half, pinch one of the sides, and then as you're closing it up, just fold and make your little pleats. Okay, you get the hang of that, and it gets easier as you go along. I mean, even with the little ones, it got easier and easier, but it's just so much easier with a bigger wrapper than those little tiny ones. See? Water getting ready to boil. As soon as our water is boiling, we're going to sit our steamer right in there, and we're going to start timing it for 12 minutes, okay? That's what I saw the time was. About 12 minutes once this is boiling, boiling, boiling. Also have some backup hot water ready, because obviously since we're going to have to do batches, this water is going to steam out and go down. We're going to need to put more in. So, got my tea kettle here. I'm just going to turn that on and make sure I have some backup hot water. Okay? So we'll be back when this first batch comes out of its 12-minute steam. Let's see what we got here. Oh yeah, look how those steamed up nice, huh? Question is, are they cooked through? 12 minutes. I don't know. I mean, they look beautiful. And then when we pan fry them, they're really going to be nice, but I just want to take one out. And I'll leave the rest of them in there steaming. Boy, that really steams pretty damn good. Look at that. I mean, that's awesome. Okay. Okay, so we'll do a little double duty while our dumplings are finishing. We're doing our last batches in there now. We have all the ones we've done so far. I put just a little bit of butter in a pan. Try to use a non-stick pan if you can, so they don't stick to the bottom. And I'm just going to now pan fry these. Make sure you move them around, because if they get stuck to the bottom, you're going to have a mess on your hand, okay? So you just want to kind of coat the bottom, and we're just going to crisp them up and brown them on both sides. We'll flip them over once we see that the bottom side is kind of done. Alrighty? Alrighty, we're frying up the last of them, but I put this plate together. Look at this. Beautiful dumplings, and the best part about dumplings is the dipping sauces. You gotta have a nice mix of sauces, and you do a little bit. That's how I like to eat them anyway. I got some duck sauce, soy sauce, sweet Thai chili sauce, and Thai peanut sauce. So we got a nice, you know, array of tastes here, okay? So I'm just gonna cut one of these pan-fried ones without dropping this all over the place. I know I should sit down and eat, but I'm gonna go sit down and eat in a minute to really enjoy these, but I just want to do a taste test today. There's our beautiful steamed dumplings. I'm gonna do duck sauce, because that's one of my all-time faves. Just as good, if not better, than the Chinese takeout. Okay, let's recap about what we learned today. One, when it comes to making dumplings, bigger is definitely better. Because it's a lot easier to do the fold and the pleating with a bigger thing. So use egg roll wrappers, not wonton wrappers. Just my opinion. We learned that our bamboo steamer works awesome, and we want to use that again in the future. And this really wasn't that hard of a thing to do. Is it time consuming? Yeah. You know, rather than 10 minutes, which is what everything takes from the Chinese place. You can have a $100 order or a $5 order, and it's 10 minutes. So, is it time consuming? Yeah, but you know what, it's fun. Again, this is one of those things that you try it, you learn it, and you go, hey, you know what, it wasn't so bad. I could do this again, and I guarantee you, the more I did it, the faster, the better I would get at it. You know what I mean? So, get out there, try it, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow. I have no idea what we're in for, but I'm going to eat my dumplings and my dips.